Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest video. In today's video, I'm going to be spoiling the first of 3 cards that I get to spoil for the upcoming Outlaws of Thunder Junction set. So, let's get into it. I want to kick this off by saying a big thank you to Webcore for including me in the spoiler season yet again. These videos are really cool, and I feel very privileged to get to make these videos for the community. So thank you for sending me these cards so that I could make these spoilers. The second thing that I want to say is that I'm going to actually be releasing 3 videos in a row. There's going to be one today, the 22nd, there's going to be one tomorrow, and then one the day after that. So I'm actually going to be spoiling 3 cards back to back on separate days. So keep an eye on my channel. Go ahead, check those new links that appear in the inbox. Those are all things that help tell the developers that I can keep spoiling cards for you guys, and I love doing this. So any and all support is very welcome. Now, this first card that I get to spoil for you all is called Desert. It's a 13 mana masterpiece land, and it reads, when a gem is converted to any color, decrease all colored mana bonuses of that player's planeswalker by 1 until the beginning of your next turn. When the first opposing creature attacks, deal X damage to each opposing creature. X is equal to your loyalty. Then destroy an opposing support card at random. So I asked for clarification on a few pieces of this card's design when it was sent to me, and there's a lot to unpack here. This is an absolutely phenomenal card. The first is that when it says when a gem is converted to any color, decrease all colored mana bonuses of that planeswalker by 1 until the beginning of your next turn. That means that, let's say that you play something like Tempt with Discovery that converts 20 gems to green. Then this will trigger, and it will lower all of the colored mana bonuses of the player who played that card by 20. And that lowering can send them into the negative range, meaning that that Tempt with Discovery is going to lower all colored mana bonuses by 20, which effectively makes it so that if you are running this card against heavy conversion decks, that when they are doing that heavy conversion, they're going to get 0 mana from those matches, because even the cascades and those things are all going to produce 0 mana. All colored mana bonuses will just be dropped into the ground. Now, with all those mana bonuses being negative, you will still gain 0 mana. It's not going to be draining mana from your hand. However, it will ensure that no mana is gained from gem conversion if you're up against this thing. Now, there's a few things to be careful with that, right? The first is that if you are playing gem conversion yourself and you're running Desert, that's a no-go, right? You can't convert gems and then expect this not to hit you back, because it states when a gem is converted to any color, decrease all colored mana bonuses of that player's planeswalker. So this is a double-edged sword. However, we do have a lot of cards that are going to work around this. Anything that just gives mana is going to be a huge boon with this card. Things like the Moxes would be a great example of something you can run with this. Another thing to keep in mind about Desert is that this card is colorless, so you can run it in any deck. Literally any planeswalker can use this thing, which means that if you see yourself going up against a green planeswalker, you know that you can throw this thing in and potentially counter a big part of their strategy. Another question that I asked was just sort of about the design and the choice of bringing this card into the game, and just it's intended to give us a little bit more in the way of options for some of the big meta threats, right? So things like Legacy Green conversion. That's really one of 2 archetypes that you can run in Legacy effectively, I feel like, right? You got Legacy Green conversion, you've got Omniscience. And now this gives us our first really good option to counter that conversion, because those converters can start going off, but they're not going to go off for long. They're not going to give mana, so they're not going to chain converter into converter into converter. And so even though this thing only has 4 shields, it's not like they're going to be able to play multiple conversion spells in a turn, most likely, because those conversion spells aren't just going to yield like anything at all. And so it's going to put a cold stop to that deck. And then in Standard, if you've gotten tired of seeing the Ghalta and Blossoming Tortoise decks, or even some of the Puzzle Masters green seed stuff, this just puts an end to all of that as well. I find it kind of funny that this is the card that they had me spoil, just because if you follow my channel, if you've watched any of my streams, if you watch my videos, you know that I love running heavy conversion in my decks. And so, of course, this is the card that I get to share with you guys first. That just completely neuters a big part of the strategy of a lot of the decks that I run. So I do like that this card is coming into the game. I like that it gives us some more options to counter some major threats. I'm interested to see how it will turn out in terms of like Legacy and Standard for play. The bottom half of this card is definitely not something to overlook either. When the first opposing creature attacks, deal X damage to each opposing creature equal to your loyalty and destroy an opposing support. Like, this just wipes the opponent's board every single turn, most likely, especially if you're stockpiling loyalty. So it gives you something else to do with your loyalty, or to use things that are going to give you loyalty, or. So there are a lot of options with this card. It is tremendously powerful. I haven't seen really anything from the set beyond my chase cards, so I don't know what to expect, but I do think that this is going to be one of the top chase cards in the set. This thing just looks absolutely amazing to me. So I'd love to hear what you all think of this card. I'd love to hear if you think that this will actually make an impact in Standard or Legacy in terms of the metas. Will we see less green conversion in Legacy? Will we see fewer Ghaltas or Blossoming Tortoises as a result of this thing? Because it's a masterpiece, might that make it so that it doesn't have as big of an impact for a while? Is this something that you're going to run? What are some decks that you would put it in, right? Those are all things that I'd love to know. It's a land. It's going to be pretty easy to bring out, I think. So there's just a lot going for it. This card looks really, really cool. So stay tuned for my video tomorrow. I've got another spoiler for you tomorrow, and then another spoiler the day after that. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.